Good evening, everyone. As you can tell by the title of the video, the Seattle Thunderbirds lost Game 1 to the Kelowna Rockets by a score of 6-2. Before we recap the game, though, I want to give a shout out to a person on YouTube by the name of Teeps. I got a comment on my last video, and Teeps said, Rockets in 5, easy series. I got a couple of responses to that, Teeps. Number one, it is awesome that you are a Western Hockey League fan. Don't get a lot of comments from Western Hockey League fans. Number two, thank you for watching. And number three, if the T-Birds play like the way they did tonight, it will be a quick series. That also being said, if the T-Birds lose the series, I'm hoping they lose in 6 games. I'd like them to at least make a series out of it, with Kelowna being the best team in the West and also the best team in the Western Hockey League. So there's a shout out to Teeps. You can check out his account and look him up. So thanks for watching. All right, so before we recap the game, I just want to say this. Last year, my New York Islanders made the playoffs for the first time in I want to say 6, 7 years. And I remember being excited. The Pittsburgh Penguins, their opponent, at the number 1 seed, and we had the 8th seed. The chances of us going to the second round of the playoffs were very slim. But I remember how I felt after Game 1 when the Penguins shut out the Islanders in Pittsburgh. And I just kept thinking, I know they're the 8th seed. I know it's the Penguins. Maybe we can at least win one game. And the Islanders ended up taking the Penguins to 6 games and pushing some of those games into overtime. And that's kind of how I feel right now. I feel kind of a punch in the gut with the way that Game 1 turned out. And I'm really hoping that the T-Birds can come from behind this Game 1 and learn from it and at least make a series out of it. I know that Kelowna is a very good team, as I mentioned in my preview video, but we just can't play like we did in Game 1. We took way too many silly penalties. The stereotype of the Western Hockey League for the Seattle Thunderbirds is the most penalized team in the league. Definitely took way too many penalties. We also gave up way too many late goals. And when I say late goals, I'm not just talking about at the end of periods. I'm talking about at the end of power plays. There were one late goal right when a power play was about to expire for Kelowna. And there were 2 goals, one in the first, one in the second, that were scored with less than 30 seconds left to go before the teams headed to the locker room. So we just got to control the puck better. We have to take advantage of opportunities. We also need, this is something that I've been noticing in this playoff run. The Thunderbirds have only outshot their opponent once during this entire postseason run. And that was against Everett in their last game, this series clincher. But outside of that, again, they are outshot tonight. They couldn't take advantage of the power play. They gave up 3 power play goals. So we have to play better, particularly if we're going to have a fighting chance against the Kelowna Rockets, who are a team who was only down going into the third period 10 times this year. I read that in the paper today. Recap the scoring. Just over 2 minutes, the Kelowna Rockets struck first as Cole Lanaker. By the way, Teeps, if you know corrections on the pronunciations of names for the Rockets, please let me know. But anyway, Cole ends up getting his second goal of the playoffs, first of the game. The assist went to Tyrell Goulburn. The Rockets led 1-0. And then Shea Theodore, a minute later, Shea Theodore, one of our NHL draft picks, took a penalty at the 3:34 mark of the first period for high sticking. And at the 4:32 mark of the first period, Rook Charter made the T-Birds pay as he scores on the power play. Fourth goal of the playoffs, first of the series. Damon Severson and goaltender Jordan Cook got the assist. So the Rockets jumped out to a 2-0 lead right away. Matthew Barzell, who apparently did not get the game winner, or maybe it was changed in Game 3 of the Everett Silvertip series, he gets his first goal of the playoffs, or first goal, since it was changed. At the 7:44 mark, assists go to Justin Hickman and Ryan Gropp, and that cut the Rockets' lead into 1. And the T-Birds were very, very close on getting. The T-Birds were very, very close at killing off another penalty. Mitch Elliott drew a penalty late in the first for boarding at the 17:53 mark, and at the 19:42 mark of the first period, Damon Severson gets his first of 2 goals, scoring on the power play, and that was one of the late goals I was talking about. So Kelowna ends up going into the locker room up 3-1, 3-1 against Seattle. Seattle did cut the lead to 1 more time as Alexander Delnoff won a face-off deep in Kelowna's end, and it trickled on net, slipped through Cook for Seattle's second goal, and that was right at the beginning of the second period too. So it gave the T-Birds a little momentum. That was the second goal at the 3:07 mark. And then after that, it was all Rockets. They scored the last 3 goals of the game, starting with Ryan Olsen's power play goal at the 13:04 mark, and then late in the second period, Madison Bowie scores his second goal of the playoffs to make it 5-1. And then right after the face-off in the third period, the Rockets took it in on a fast break, and Damon Severson buried it past Turin Kozin on, and that was the scoring for the game. As the Rockets end up winning 6-2. Shots on goal. Kelowna ends up out shooting Seattle 36-25. Again, the T-Birds have played now 6 games in the playoffs and have only outshot their opponent once. For power play opportunities, Seattle was 0 for 3. The Kelowna Rockets were very disciplined in terms of not taking silly penalties, unlike Seattle, where Kelowna was 3 of 6, so 50% on the power play to open up the series. Jordan Cook gives up 2 goals. He saves 23 out of 25 shots. He improves his record to 5-1 in the postseason, whereas in Turin Kozin saves 30 out of 36. His playoff record now drops to 4-2. So, again, T-Birds are trying to at least win one of these games up in Kelowna, so that way they can steal home ice advantage. I'm really hoping they regroup. I think they will. I think they will regroup to a certain extent, but again, as I said before, silly penalties, need to outshoot. Need to outshoot your opponents. Not giving up late goals. Because if they do not fix these things, this series will be a quick series. It doesn't matter where this series ends; it will be a quick series. But it's game 1. Last time the T-Birds were outplayed like this, they ended up responding with a 5-0 shutout against the Everett Silvertips. So we still got a long way to go. And game 2 will be on Saturday night in Kelowna at Prosper Place. Kelowna leads the best of 7 series, 1-0. I will likely miss game 2, unfortunately. I have some guests coming in from out of town, so I will recap the game likely on Sunday morning. If not, then I'll try to do it Sunday afternoon. And I hope that we can, hope the T-Birds can bounce back. That's basically all I have for game 1. Again, very, very similar reactions to when my Islanders lost game 1 of their playoff series last year against the Penguins, but again, there's still time to make it a series. I'm optimistic. But we just have to play a solid 60 minutes of hockey, and we were fortunate in the Everett Silvertip series, as I said before, to steal a couple of games, and we're not going to steal games against Kelowna. Kelowna is way too good for that to happen. So the T-Birds end up losing 6-2, and again, Kelowna leads the series 1-0. And I will see you guys later on this weekend. So, again, shout out to Teeps. Thanks for commenting. And let's go Birds. Let's go get them at game 2. Talk to you later.